Hello beautifuls, and welcome to or back to my YouTube channel. So if you're new to my channels, I kind of discuss everything: food, fitness, lifestyle, modeling, traveling, moving to new cities alone, tackling your 20s, you know, all that jazz. I guess I don't really have a niche, but it's been a while since I posted a video. I think the last video that I posted was about me moving to London, having my apartment and all that, settling in. And then when all of that happened, you know, I started living my best hot girl London life, and I got an offer to go to another city. And now I am back in Canada, in Montreal, where I got signed to an amazing agency, and I'm super excited, but it all happened very suddenly. I pretty much found out like a week before that I was actually going to be traveling to Montreal, moving there, and it's a lot. It's a lot moving to a new city on your own. It's a lot moving around the world as a model, and I kind of just wanted to give you guys some tools and insight into my life since I am in a new city that I've never been to, because when I moved to London I had never been there before. So I'm just kind of doing it all over again, starting from the beginning all over again. This video is pretty much going to be my tips for how to live alone in a new city and the tools that I've picked up from moving to new cities, and I just really wanted to equip you guys with some tools. Moving somewhere alone, it can be very difficult, it can be very eye-opening, and it can also be very isolating. So it's really important that you lean into your wants and your needs and you really understand your personality type. To survive in a new city, you actually have to be very resourceful and you have to be very emotionally resilient. You pretty much are starting from scratch, from where you go grocery shopping, where you go to the gym, who you are, who are your friends, who are your people, what is your social circle. It's a lot. You need to really be kind with yourself and not let it all build on top of you and just implode, because that's what I did when I first moved to London, and I got very overwhelmed. But once I started to take these steps, I started to really find my place, and I fell in love with London. And I miss London, but it's okay, I'll be back. As an international model, I pretty much live a life of new beginnings, and it never gets easier, but I gain new tools in every city that I find myself in. Throughout this process, I have learned the value of real relationships, quality time, as well as what I like and what I don't like. If you are moving to a new city, or even just thinking about it or following your dreams, these tips can help you make that transition a lot easier. So my number one tip is don't be afraid of being alone. Now, luckily in cities like London and New York, it is actually very normalized to be alone and to spend time alone. It's actually encouraged. You'll see so many people going on solo walks, going to dinner, taking themselves for solo dates, which is something that I did when I first got to London. I actually went to a Mexican restaurant. I googled the best restaurant in the area. It had amazing reviews and the food looked spectacular, and I took myself there after one of my first fashion shows, and I just took myself on a solo date, and it was really honestly empowering. And I think that the chef kind of picked up on that, so he ended up sending me a 3-course meal and some drinks, and I absolutely enjoyed it. And at the end, he gave me everything for free, so that was amazing, and he actually became my friend through it. And I remember walking home alone and just realizing that I could really do this. I could really be alone in a new city, and I could really find myself. So even after that, even after I made all of these friends, I actually make it a thing for me to go on a solo date around once a month, whether it's taking myself for a really nice brunch or a really nice dinner. I think it's special to get dressed up and just do it for yourself, you know? You moved to this new city and you did it for yourself, so you might as well, you know, take yourself out for a meal, take yourself on a date. Self-love is the best tool you can have. Tip number 2 is to find your people. I honestly thrive off of this. I feel like this is what creates stability in any city for me. And the way that I find my people is to find people who are oriented towards the same goals. So I met a lot of models, I met a lot of designers, and I met a lot of people in the fashion industry who then became my best friends in London, and I love to surround myself with these people. I was able to talk about my hardships, I was able to talk about my goals, I was able to connect with them on a deeper level. Ways that you can do this is you can reach out to people on Instagram who are maybe with your agency if you're a model, or people who work in the same workplace as you, in the same career, and you know, just ask them to go for coffee. Tell them that you're new, tell them that you're like a lost puppy in the new city, which is what I just did in Montreal, and I'm actually going to be going out with a few girls today. And just tell them that you want to find a meaningful connection. This will also hold you accountable. Chances are, if you move to a new city, you probably did it to follow your dreams, to follow your goals, or for your career. So surround yourself with the people who who will make you a better person. I feel like I also look to people who live a generally healthy lifestyle. I love to find people who like to go out but also like to go to coffee and yoga and bar classes. So that's really important to me. Find out what's important to you, whether it's somebody to go to the movies with, or somebody to go to yoga class with, or somebody who just likes the same things that you like. Tip number 3 is make your place home. I know that it's not home. You're in a new place. It's extremely daunting. I'm in this model apartment that my lovely agency set me up in, and it's massive, and right now I'm the only girl here. So it felt really empty and it felt really isolated, and I kind of felt alone. I felt empty inside when I got here. Before, you know, you embark on this journey, it's really important to spend time with your relatives, spend time with your best friends, spend time with the people you care about, because you're about to leave them, and it's really, really hard. And for me, I find home in people. So to create home in a place that I've never been before is extremely gut-wrenching. And you really need to lean into yourself and what you need, and think about the things that make you comfortable in your space. So I'm talking about home as a space. So what can I do to make this place home? I am a very social person, so to make this place home, I would love to have people over. I would love to cook breakfast for my friends, and to do that I need to make friends, but don't worry, I'm working on it. And I'd love to have people over, you know, for a movie, for dinner. So I'd invite people over to make it home. Another thing that I would do is surround myself with things that kind of are part of my routine, like my coffee. So I got a nice coffee, my dark chocolate, a nice cozy blanket, a nice cozy loungewear set. Just do anything that you can to make yourself comfortable, make yourself feel at home, pretty much. It can honestly be the smallest thing, like your favorite tea, your favorite movie, anything that will ground you in that space and take away the anxiety of being in a new place. Tip number 4 is something that I need to apply to myself more, but it is to plan properly. Obviously, moving to a new city, there's a lot of moving parts that you need to figure out, as in phone bill, internet, all of that adulty stuff. I still remember I was so shocked when I moved to London and I realized that I had to hang dry my clothes, like the littlest things. It was crazy to me and I wasn't prepared for it. And then I also had to figure out where I grocery shop, where I go to the gym, where I get my smoothie. It was a lot of moving parts that I should have probably planned before, but I kind of just threw myself into the fire with London and I did it. I explored my area through my daily walks, and that's how I found my gym. That's how I found my smoothie place. That's how I found the best cafe to work at. I just kind of observed people because I'm a people watcher, and I put myself in their shoes and I said, what would Imran do on a work day? What would Imran do on a chill day? Where does Imran go out? Where does Imran eat? And I started to kind of like figure out my formula and figure out who I was in London. I was a chaotic queen, but we love that for me. Tip number 5, I think we're on 5. If we're not, let's just roll with it. Don't hide your emotions. I think for me, the most important thing is to be emotionally intelligent when moving to a new city, because it is a very vulnerable thing to do. You're pretty much starting from scratch. So if you're feeling emotional, it's okay to sit with your emotions, ask why you're feeling that, and then fix it. You know, for me, I was really lonely in this new apartment, and I realized the reason why I was feeling that is because I found my place in London. I found a lot of people that I cared about, and I was constantly surrounded by people. So to be alone and to be in a new place that I'd never been before was extremely isolating, and I felt lost because I didn't know anything. I touched down, like everybody was speaking French. I also didn't know how to speak the language. It was really intimidating. So what I did was I just kind of sat here and realized that those emotions will pass, and that I felt similar when I got to London. And then at one point I felt fine. It became home. So I know that I will be fine. But the thing is, sitting with those emotions, crying, feeling lonely, feeling upset, it's totally all right. And then after that, you know, it is 2022. There is FaceTime, there is phone calls. Call somebody. If you need to talk to somebody, call them, console in them, and realize that you're just feeling human things. Like everything, these feelings will pass, and expressing them fully will make it easier to move on from the emotions in a positive direction. Don't feel stuck. If you want to, you can always book a flight home. You can always go home. There's always an answer. I think that emotional awareness will be one of the most important tools that you will take with you to moving to new cities. Tip number 6 is my favorite. Explore your new city. Yes, go on TripAdvisor, go on Google, look at the top things to do and go do those things, because acting tourist, being cool dad with your little camera and taking pictures of every little stupid thing is probably the most fun part of moving alone. I did this my first week in Montreal, and it's kind of nice because my agency gave me this break, and I just went out and looked at museums, looked at things that were new to me, and I was taking pictures and I was acting like a complete idiot, and I enjoyed myself. Being alone, I enjoyed being out of the chaos. Going from London to Montreal is a huge adjustment, but I enjoyed the little small things, and I think that exploring the city is best done on foot. I'm a believer of daily walks. It'll also really help you get that vitamin D and help you balance your emotions. So, you know, walk around your neighborhood, go to a different neighborhood, try a new coffee spot. If you enjoy something a lot, go find it. I enjoy my cup of coffee a lot, so I googled the top cafe and I went there. I also like playing critic, you know, rating the coffee, rating the place, comparing places, because chances are you're moving to a new city to see if it works for you. So why don't you figure out, is it better, is it worse? You may move somewhere and not like it. Knowing what you don't want is just as important as knowing what you do want, and that is productivity, my friend. There are endless opportunities. There's bars, there's lounges, there's gyms, there's museums. I honestly, if you move into a city and you tell me that there's nothing to explore, I tell you to shut up and swallow your pride and go out. Put on your New Balances. Get your phone, get your Apple Watch, hit those 10,000 steps and find something. Tip number 7 is don't compare your new life, your new city to your past. With a new city comes a new you, a reinvention, a new beginning. Not saying that you're gonna change, you know, if people hit you up and they're like, you changed, you know, those people are not your real friends. You have an opportunity to find yourself in a new city, to grow. Time alone also helps you realize who you are and helps you realize things that you want to change, things that you want to keep. It's simple, just don't compare. When you compare, that's when you get sad, that's when you get disappointed, that's when you kind of hinder yourself from having these wonderful experiences. Tip number 8 is to keep in touch. No, just because you're in a new city, maybe in a new time zone. I was in London, 8 hours ahead of all of my best friends. It doesn't mean you can't keep in touch. You just got to make it work. There's FaceTime, there's phone call, there's Instagram. I love to blog my experiences. I love YouTube to keep my friends and family in touch. And I love like those daily talks, but there's also balance in that, because I remember when I first moved to London, I was on the phone with my friends so much that I was pretty much living this remote virtual life where I wasn't really exploring London. So maybe take like that allocated time to talk to your friends. Now I actually have like a post breakfast call with my friends and a late night call with my mom, or vice versa, and I don't spend my whole day on the phone and my whole day taking videos of myself or FaceTiming people, because then you're just missing the opportunity of what the new city has. If you are really craving some emotional support and you haven't been out for the day, maybe, you know, put in your AirPods, put in your earphones, be safe, and go for a walk and then talk to somebody that you love. It'll make you feel a lot more connected. Tip number 8 is to find a routine. I am somebody who finds a lot of balance and finds a lot of stability in my routine, and that's what ultimately makes me feel like I'm at home. So in London, for example, I found my gym first, and that's a big part of my routine, and then I found a cafe where I could do some remote work at, do some of my marketing work, and then I found what's my spot, where do I hang out, where do I like to go out. And I had, you know, like Tuesdays and Wednesdays I went for dinner with my friends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, went out, and it just became this flow, and it made me feel at home. It made me feel at ease. Tip number 9 is to find your spot. This is kind of like me. It's like finding your Central Park. Whether you're in New York, you're in London, you're in Montreal, find a spot that you go to think, that you go to work, that you go to journal, and just sit there. I think I found my spot in Montreal. I'm not 100% sure yet, but it's not an alley. It's like this street, and it's painted, and it's in front of a museum, and it's kind of in the shade. It's kind of sunny right now, so it's been nice to just sit there, but I'm sure in the cold I'll be like and not wanting to be there anymore. I've been journaling there a lot, grabbing my smoothie and just sitting there and just soaking in the new city. Your spot could also be a coffee spot. I remember in London, for me, it was actually my smoothie bar. It was my spot. I would grab my smoothie bowl or coffee and I would sit outside of it. I just had the best moments there. At home, my spot is placed along the river. So important to have a spot that you go to when you're stressed, when you're anxious, when you're emotional, and where you can just kind of think, you know, think about life. And the last tip number 10 is allow it. Allow the emotions, allow the sadness, allow the intimidation, allow the The ups, the downs, the happy, the sad, the oh my god, what did I do? Did I just blow up my life? Do I really want to be here? When I first got here, I felt like shit. I missed my friends. I thought about how London was my place and I was working well there. I had best friends there. I had such a good life. And I felt like I left that. Did I just like kind of blow up my life? And then I realized that the career that I'm in, modeling, it's an international career and I have a great opportunity here and I would regret it if I didn't come. And knowing myself, I know that I'll make friends here and I know that I'll make a life here. And it also makes me feel better knowing that I am going back to London in January.
I'm a London girl.
Also that I can go back to London at any time. I can go back to Vancouver at any time. And it made me feel good that, you know, I'm a little bit closer to my family. I'm back in Canada. The air here is a lot better. The water tastes a lot better. And I don't know, I just kind of allowed myself to feel that. And now, you know, I'm gonna take all of those tips that I gave you guys. I'm gonna spend a day hanging out with a model that I reached out to on Instagram. We're gonna go explore and I'm gonna go to the smoothie place that I found. I'm actually taking a break from the gym. I haven't really found a good gym in Montreal yet. I'm excited to take you guys along with this journey. I also made this video just to inspire you if you're thinking of moving or if you want to move. You can do it, honestly, and if you like it, if you don't, you know, if you have the privilege of moving somewhere, of trying somewhere new, checking out a new opportunity, whether it's a job, whether it's a career, whether it's following your dreams, whether you're a model, an actress, a finance bro, you should do it. And I bet you're gonna discover so much about yourself and you can meet some of your best friends along the way. So I'm excited. Imran in Montreal.
Bonjour, s'il vous plaît, merci.
See, we're learning. We are learning, and yeah, I'm gonna go. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. If you got this far, comment the city that you want to move to next or the city that you would like to try out, because I'm really intrigued. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I
will see you in my next video. Kinda hungry. Don't want a smoothie? I want a smoothie.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.